Inside the ancient rabbinic study halls, scholars gestured intensely, treating the law as a high-stakes intellectual battleground where absolute precision was the only currency. Lawmakers in this space wrestled with a central dilemma: how to find the truth when undeniable human logic collided with a strictly guarded historical transmission. Rabbi Eleazar, a scholar defined by his loyalty to tradition, delivered a precise, isolated ruling: a limb severed from a living person imparts ritual impurity. This single sentence immediately triggered a crisis. By isolating the rule to a limb from the living, Eleazar shifted the legal landscape, creating a negative implication that the court could not ignore. Rabbi Yahosua, a sharp logician, immediately spotted a glaring hole in his colleague's statement. He posed a clarifying interrogation. If Rabbi Eleazar specifies that a limb from a living person is impure, does that imply a limb severed from a corpse is pure? The implication created an absurdity. In this legal system, a human corpse is defined as the absolute source of ritual impurity. Yahoshua's question exposed a logical vacuum that threatened the fundamental consistency of the law, forcing a direct confrontation. To settle the dispute, Yahoshua deployed an a fortiori inference, a tool proving that if a minor case requires a strict rule, the more severe case must follow automatically. This diagram shows the baseline. A living human being is fundamentally considered ritually pure. Despite that baseline purity, if a limb is severed from this living person, that specific limb instantly becomes impure. Now look at the severe case. A corpse starts out as the absolute maximum source of impurity. The deduction is inescapable. If a pure living body produces an impure limb, an impure corpse must certainly produce an impure limb. According to mechanical reason, Rabbi Eleazar's implication operated backward against the established rules of the system. To lock his argument, Yahoshua brought in a historical precedent regarding the laws of mourning to prove his deduction method was foolproof. The ancient scroll states that on minor Passover, it is strictly forbidden to deliver a eulogy. Because the law explicitly mentions the minor holiday, does this mean eulogies are permitted on the holier major Passover? By the a fortiori rule, the answer is no. If the minor holiday forbids it, the major holiday is restricted by the exact same logic. The living limb and the human corpse operate on the same undeniable track as these two Passovers, binding Eleazar to the same deductive conclusion. Rabbi Yahoshua rested his case. The study hall waited for the traditionalists to concede to absolute reason. Rabbi Eleazar remained unyielding. He acknowledged the brilliance of the deduction, but stated, "Despite this reasoning, such is the ruling I heard from my teachers." Eleazar did not attempt to find a flaw in the logic. He simply refused to validate it, drawing a hard line against extrapolating beyond literal transmission. For Eleazar, a flawless logical deduction could not generate a new legal reality if the historical chain of transmission did not explicitly hand it down. These two scholars represented conflicting philosophies. Yahoshua operated as if the law were an architecture, built upward by the tools of human reason. Eleazar viewed the law as a foundation poured by history, something to be guarded and repeated, but never altered by cleverness. While human logic was wielded like a weapon in the study hall, the final anchor of this system remained the unbroken chain of tradition. Reason builds the walls, but tradition lays the foundation.